G'day folks, it's Revan here, hope you're doing well and staying safe out there. And I have to say, early August has been such a roller coaster ride, right? I mean, for the World of Warships community. First and foremost, the forums have shut down, right? Second, they've moved us from the forums from the web base to the Discord. And the third thing is that they're going through a lot of, changes internally, and I noticed that while they have this Masters tournament online that's going on at the moment, it's very weird. Let's just be honest and be realistic that it's very weird with everything been going on, and I was a bit surprised about the amount of changes that Wargaming has been doing to the game. And it's been either both positive and negative. And I have to say that this announcement that they were coming out with in regarding to the premium shop has been either positive and negative. And I can see both sides of the coin, okay? And as a streamer myself, I have to admit that I always am very self-conscious about whatever giveaways I do provide on stream, and at the same time that the value of the ships always do fluctuate. It doesn't matter when it is, what time of year is the time of the year. The currencies do fluctuate a fair bit, especially whatever region server you're going through, like EU, NA, Asia, but it also depends on the person who's playing on that server and what region they're playing from. Now, this announcement came from Wargaming not too long ago, and I will admit that this announcement, it made sense, but at the same time I was not actually surprised, because this is something that I felt that it was bound to happen someday. It wasn't going to be a matter of if, it's going to be a matter of when. So Wargaming World of Warships community has gone out swinging, letting us know that there's going to be a different change for the premium shop, whether it's for the better or for worse. And unfortunately, it's not exactly great for us Australians. And I'm afraid to say this, us Aussies out there, as well as New Zealanders, we're getting hurt left, right, and center, and depending on which server you play on. Unfortunately, most recently I was checking out the prices on the premium shop. It actually looked like we are paying at least nearly $10 to $15 more than we should be on some things. Mostly focus on the larger items though. In terms of the small items though, it's a different story, but we'll go in depth about this very soon. So Wargaming came out with this message saying, "Captains, we have recently conducted an in-depth study and identified a need to apply exchange rate adjustments in the premium shop. Since the last set of price reductions in October 2020, we have not changed local currency prices in the region. This also has meant that discounts players enjoyed were affected by currency exchange trends, both positively and negatively depending on country. To combat these trends, we will change the way we control regional pricing from manually setting prices in regional currencies, disregarding exchange trends, and instead manually set the discount levels for each of those currencies. As a result, you may notice an increase or decrease in pricing, depending on your country of residence. However, please rest assured, we will remain committed to keep our gaming content accessible to our players from all over our APC and that our prices have remained consistent since October 2020. We value support engagement with all our games, and we will continue to monitor, periodically revise our products to better reflect the reality of local markets, the Wargaming team. Now, I have to admit though, I did some research about this, if the other regions are affected by this story, and unfortunately it's only Asia region that is affected by this, and I was a bit mixed. Let's just be honest though, okay? I'm gonna cut down the chase and tell you how I feel about this. When I first saw this story, I was actually very mixed about it all, but at the same time that it doesn't matter where you live around the world, someday, at some point in our life, that something will go up and something will always go down, okay? But I was a bit disappointed about everything that I've seen and read about that announcement, because that when I look at the premium shop now, for example, that the prices are pretty expensive. Like for example, if I was like to look at getting 25,000 doubloon pricing, this used to be about $134 thereabouts in EU server, so that's actually not too bad. But you know, 17,500, this one used to be around about like in the $90 mark, and this one here for 12,500 doubloons used to be around about $64. The small packages though, they're not really of a difference. They're basically like a dollar difference in terms of increase. Some people said it was about $1 less for them, but it's not always the case. Now here is the Asia server, the best server. Well, I didn't get paid to say it, but hey, it's worth it to try anyway. But in Asia server, as you can see, that there's a big difference in pricing all around. Anything from 7,500 doubloons going down, it's actually not bad in all seriousness though. But if you look at it, anything from 12,500 up, it's safe to say you have seen about at least a $10 increase, and it's not exactly great. But when you look at, like for example, let's just say all these Azure Lane, you know, prices and stuff like that, some of them are great prices in comparison to other regions. Some are not, but that really comes down to, you know, what you're really into. Trust me, I mean, like, I had to think about it myself. But when I look up in regarding to, like, say, the premium ships, now everyone loves collecting ships. Don't get me wrong, we all do, especially when people give away ships for the fun of it on their streams. But as you can see, the tier 9 ships are now about $116, which is nearly like $117, give or take. It's not exactly cheap. And also it can fluctuate depending on the region. It can be as high as 135 or 140 bucks, which is not cheap at all, I have to say. Tier 8 ships are the second dearest in terms of giving away on live stream, that is. And they're actually, you know, going up in price as well too. Some of them have either increased at least about a minimum of $5. Some have increased more than that, which is a bit of a surprise. The lower ships, like for example anything below tier 6, is actually pretty good. So if you want to do giveaways on World of Warships to your friends, to your family, or gifting to somebody, you're probably better off, in my opinion, go at tier 6 or tier 7 at the highest. But I would not push yourself overboard at tier 8 or 9, or especially 10. But if you want to get something like a big doubloon pack, you know, for your birthday, I have one rule. and I'll tell you this now, get what you can afford. That is my rule. Do not ever overspend. Look folks, I'll be honest and blunt with you, that there are people out there can easily whip out a credit card or their wallet or anything like that and overspend accidentally or deliberately without knowing. And it's all coming down to the fine great detail. So please be careful and do it responsibly. Because it's just like, you know, when you're gambling or when you're paying your bills and things like that. If you don't have any money left to pay your bills, whose fault is that? And I'm not gonna say it out loud. You know the answer to that. So please be mindful about what you spend online, especially in this case, this. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the game. I love, you know, collecting things and stuff like that. But as you can see, this is on a North American server. As you can see, there's a little bit of a dollar difference and stuff in terms of value. A bit of a good and bad. But in all seriousness though, is it really worth the headache and the heartache to spend extra money to get certain things? To be honest, not really. And that's why I'm just saying it very openly. Please be mindful when you spend sort of things. Now, it also comes down to different special events in the game itself. If the game is actually promoting, you know, certain things, like for example summer tokens to Black Friday and also Christmas. Hey, Christmas is coming soon, 140 days. Yeah, I know. But the point of the matter is though, when I think about, you know, these sudden changes that Warships have done, I feel deep down that whenever you're doing anything in terms of giveaways or whatever it is, you have to be extremely careful and mindful about how much money you put out there. Now, I'm not saying that you should stop. I'm saying that you should do it responsibly. Now, there's nothing wrong with spoiling yourself on something nice every now and then. But keep in mind though that these changes have taken into effect as of now. It's not exactly great. I see the positive side of it, that, you know, some countries will be benefiting out of this, other countries won't. I can tell you right now that unfortunately for me, on the Asia server, it's actually not great news. But if you're NA or EU, some things on NA and EU are good. Just some. Not much. Just some. But in my personal opinion, if you were to buy something on the premium shop, like you really want game time, like, you know, premium time, but it's not really game time really, but premium time, to have that extra benefits, it's nice to have. Just keep in mind that, you know, if you do missions and stuff like that, you can get some good rewards. But I would save your money on Black Friday, Christmas, or special events. There are some people out there who we call wallet warriors, who will break out their cards and basically play 52 pickup and see who would flex the most in buying all the ships. There are some people, when they buy ships online, that, yeah, it's a bit of an eye-opener, game changer. Folks, just remember that the premium shop changes, in my opinion, is not exactly great. Honestly, it's not great at all. I'm actually rather disappointed. about it. To be fair, I really am. But at the end of the day, I'm just hoping that the prices that we're seeing now will improve. Because honestly, when I see these prices are gone up the way they are right now, it's just both ridiculous and uncalled for. So, in all seriousness though, folks, whenever you're doing any giveaways or anything like that, or want to buy something for yourself, just be mindful about what you're spending for. Unfortunately, all region servers are affected by this. It doesn't matter if you're just Asia, but I was surprised that Asia had the announcement and the other servers didn't really, but I'm gonna say it's gonna affect all regions. And honestly, at the end of the day, it's gonna happen one way or another. And I knew that this day would happen one way or another. And I'm just kind of glad that it wasn't too expensive, to be honest. But I'm actually a little bit disappointed about how expensive it is. So at the end of the day, folks, I just want to start off by saying, yeah, it kind of hurts with the changes, but I don't know if it's whether for better or for worse. So at the end of the day, folks, yeah, please be careful about the exchange rate adjustments in the premium shop in going forward. But if you have any concerns, any issues, anything that you want your voice to be heard, you're more than welcome to approach me, reach out to me, and even discuss it on my Discord, because I'm more than happier to share that feedback with Wargaming themselves and just say, hey, look, you know, this is how the community is feeling. So the more people of you out there speaking up and tell me about it, the better we feel as a team, venting and say, hey, look guys, is this what we really want? Well, I can see two things about this. We were used to a system that was done very well, and the prices we paid for were actually pretty fair. One would argue though that not all regions and countries were having that luxury, and it's always going to be like that. So I guess in going forward though, just be mindful of what you spend. But yeah, I hope things will improve. That's just my view about this, my 2 cents. But hey, stay safe, take care, and I shall see you all on the next stream. But thanks for joining in and listening.